What's this whole cybersecurity thing that people keep talking about in the news? In this video, we're going to break down what you need to know about cybersecurity. So whether you're just somebody who wants a better understanding, or if you're an aspiring professional, we've got something for everybody. But first, welcome to the channel or welcome back. My name is John Good, and here on this channel, we talk all about cybersecurity. If you enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Also, make sure to check out the description for more training and resources. All right, let's do this. It's entirely possible that if you're stumbling across this video, this is the first time that you've heard about cybersecurity, and it was probably because a company got hacked. It's also possible that you're interested in learning more about cybersecurity and making it a career, and you want to get a better idea of what we do on an everyday basis. If we're just meeting for the first time, I actually work in cybersecurity for my day job, and I have for quite some time. Also, if you look on YouTube, I make a bunch of videos on cybersecurity content, so I know a thing or two about the subject. So first, I want to step back a little bit and just talk about how all this cybersecurity stuff has evolved. Depending on your age, you might not even know that the internet is actually a relatively new thing, at least as far as its widespread use. So let's start out with a little brief history lesson on the internet. The internet actually started out in the 1960s, but it wasn't how we use it today to search for YouTube videos, social media, or whatever else that you use it for. It was actually a way for government researchers to share information. In those days, computers were massive and they took up entire rooms. Can you imagine whatever computer device that you're on right now taking up your whole room? That is crazy to think about. Eventually, the early form of the internet led to something called the ARPANET, or Advanced Research Projects Agency Network, and was used by academic and research organizations who had contracts with the Defense Department in the United States. Fast forward even further, and there was protocols like TCP that started being developed to standardize all this communication. But don't worry, we're not going to dive deep into those technical details. Anyways, this advancement allowed for computers to start being networked together. The biggest reason that all this is so important is because these types of networks and the internet as a whole were created as a way to share information as their primary mission. And security really wasn't a concern because frankly, it wasn't even clear how this internet thing was going to evolve. It wasn't until the 1990s where we started seeing a ton of startup companies begin to test the limits of the internet. Have you ever heard of the dot-com bubble? Basically, in the late 90s, a combination of low interest rates for borrowing money and driven entrepreneurs led to this expansion of the internet. But of course, a lot of those companies failed. A few years later, we started seeing social media platforms like MySpace, Facebook, and others that started to attract younger people especially. When the first iPhone released in 2007, that was just another thing that drastically increased the desire for people to be connected on the go. Of course, now we have tons of different devices that are internet connected, and the number's growing all the time. Unfortunately, the lack of forward thinking with security as the internet was developed and as it evolved is continuing to haunt us. If you Google cybersecurity, you're going to get a definition like it's the practice of protecting critical systems and sensitive information from digital attacks. You might also hear terms like information security and information assurance. And if you want to know the difference between all those terms, make sure to check out the video I did breaking them down. But for this video, we're just going to lump them all into one definition. In this video, we're going to primarily focus on how cybersecurity impacts businesses. So anyways, companies have these networks of computers that they use to do their business on and communicate between other people or companies. When we look at the big picture of things, cybersecurity really has three main focuses: people, processes, and technologies. People can be anybody in an organization: regular employees, IT staff, executives, and so on. The reason why people are so important is because they could be configuring these technologies to keep the organization safe. But even an end user who receives an email, they can click on a link, visit a website, or do something that introduces a virus or some other big issue. Another important thing to keep in mind is that people can be tricked by attackers or socially engineered into doing things that unintentionally bypass some of these security controls. Processes are important because everything that a business does follows some type of process. That might be supply chain procurement process, onboarding of employees, or countless other processes. These processes all have risks associated with them, and that has security implications. And then technology, of course, is the computers, the routers, the firewalls, and other devices that have to be secured, patched, and maintained throughout that life cycle. As you might be thinking now, every aspect of an organization should at least be asking if there's a cybersecurity concern or requirement for what they're doing. I hope you're enjoying the content so far. If you are, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you think of any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Also, make sure to check out the description for more training and resources. All right, let's get back to the content. Now, one thing that I really want to talk about, and that it's really hard to kind of avoid talking about when we're talking about cybersecurity, is how many job openings that there are and that there are going to be in the future for companies. There's a lot of surveys that are going on right now, and they come out to about the same amount. But they say that by 2025, there's going to be 3.5 million cybersecurity jobs that are open worldwide. So that's any kind of company that's out there that's going to need cybersecurity, which is basically, any company. And that's a whole bunch of jobs. So it is a real problem just as far as the technology is not necessarily being prepared to handle cybersecurity or being able to protect themselves. But also, we just don't have enough people that are actually properly trained or able to be trained up quickly and secure these organizations. Now, you can see that even when I go to a site like Indeed, which, if you're not familiar with what Indeed is basically a job searching platform that you can use to find open jobs across all industries and job types. But if we search for cybersecurity, and you can see here that I search for cybersecurity in parentheses, and that's because we want to specifically target that. But we had 36,000 job postings that were returned. And that's just as of right now. So that's as of 2022. And we're talking about as many as 3.5 million job openings by the year 2025. That is an insane jump. Now, think about all the different technologies that you even have in your home, not even necessarily at a business. You have things like your refrigerator. You have maybe a Nest thermostat or some kind of smart thermostat. Maybe you have smoke detectors that are connected to the internet. And all these different devices that those need cybersecurity built into them too. So those need people that can create these cybersecurity controls or test these products for cybersecurity. And then when we start talking about going into the business or a large organization, you have lots of different technologies that exist there that you won't have at home. You have servers, you have storage devices, you have HVAC systems, you have all these different technologies that really need to be protected. And then we start talking about things like critical infrastructure, so like power grids and satellite communications and these larger types of devices and systems that don't take the regular kind of security controls that we put on this other stuff. We need specialized skills and specialized knowledge in order to protect that information. So this is a real problem, and we need highly trained cybersecurity professionals or people that can get spun up very quickly, and really a way to train people up very quickly in order to kind of fill this cybersecurity gap that's going to exist going into the future. And of course, talking about cybersecurity wouldn't be complete if we didn't bring up salary. And as you can see here, this is Glassdoor. So this is a website that specifically focuses on salary information, but they also have job postings and information about companies like reviews and things like that. But you can see here that on this website, based on the information that they've received, so anonymous salaries that have been reported by people, $96,000 is the average salary per year. That's pretty substantial when you look at other jobs that are out there that are either not in technology and are basically just in other career fields. But 96,000 is pretty substantial for most people and most career fields. And of course, this is not the top level. You can see the range here. So it really goes from 47,000 all the way up to 333,000, which is just significant salary figures for anybody, really. Question of the day: what interests you the most about cybersecurity? I'd love to hear your responses in the comment section below. Remember that cybersecurity is a very complicated area for a lot of reasons related to budget, technology limitations, staff knowledge, business support, and these are just a few of the major reasons. It's true today that the workforce is much more fluent in technology because it's been a thing for a little bit now, and that's only going to improve since kids today don't even know what a world's like without the internet or technology. I encourage you to keep tracking the news and to do more research on cybersecurity if this video made you curious, because there's a lot more that you can learn about cybersecurity than we covered in this video. As always, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the description for more training and resources, and I'll see you next time.